We have Jayson Thibault in the house, the man, the myth, the legend. Welcome back, my friend.
Guys, it's been a while. You guys look good. Sean's got his glow in the dark fucking raver mic over there. DK, you look good. Where you're in like a what is that? A fucking small ass in a closet?
It's my.
I can see all four walls of the room that you're in one screenshot.
Yeah, man, I'm back in rehab.
That's what it looks like, bro. It looks like you're in there's another guy sleeping right across the room from him.
Yeah.
In a ball.
I sleep next to Samara. You know that bitch from The Ring.
Yeah.
You know, because things are so bad in the
Your
UK right now.
reference.
Yeah, things are so bad in the UK right now. I have to do a fucking house share with a demon.
Are things really bad in the UK right now? I mean, you guys don't have to deal with Trump. Well, I guess you do.
Yeah.
Indirectly when he tries to take your country from you somehow.
I fucking hope he does, Tebow. I really do. Anything's better than this shit.
Now, where are you guys at? You guys are in the same place, right? But you're not.
No. Oh, we're in the
You
same
guys are like
country.
an hour apart, right?
No, further.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
6 hours maybe.
Holy shit! Now refresh me where you guys are again.
6 hours? Nah, it's more like 3 or 4 hours. So basically, yeah, I'm in the south coast of England. Sean's up north, about 200 miles north.
So it's colder where you are, Sean.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Wait, what? It gets fucking cold where you are, Dan. Like, from experience, like
Fucking
the
cold where I
wind.
am. I say that.
You're in Michigan, are you?
Yep, right on the lake. It's cold where I am. It's fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like below zero for like 3 days in a row.
Yeah, shit.
I don't know what
Fahrenheit.
in centigrade or whatever you guys fucking use over there.
Well, all I know is that
Celsius.
32 degrees Fahrenheit is 0 degrees C. So for you to be below 0 Fahrenheit, that must be fucking freezing.
Oh yeah, well, then it would probably have been like 40 below because it was like 8 below zero for us.
Right. Well.
So 32 for you guys is zero.
Yeah.
I have no
50
fucking
years
idea.
I've been trying to clear this up, and it's that easy. So why couldn't somebody just say that to us?
Because you need
Everyone
Dan.
tries to give you like an
and his
equation
fucking
of how to
brain.
break it down. If it's 32 degrees equals zero, then I know how to figure it out. Because I was talking to, we're the only ones that has this stupid fucking system for everything. And I talk to my friends in Canada, I talk to you guys, and you're like, hey, it's 8 degrees. And I go, holy Jesus, that's fucking, must be cold. You guys are going to play golf or something.
Well, all right then. I got a question for you, Thibault. Then, do you prefer miles or the metric system? Do you prefer miles or kilometers?
Because I'm a gigantic space nerd and I read space news all the time, everything is in kilometers. So that's a little bit easier than the temperature thing for me. It's easy to translate and to convert into things. But I mean, I'm naturally like programmed for miles. Like I can visualize what a mile is in my head, but then I go, okay, I'm in a kilometer. Then that's, you know.
Well, that's what I'm saying because 1,000 meters is a kilometer, right? But to do a mile is 1,750 yards. Like, why?
The yards thing is even dumber because no one uses yards for anything other than American football. And that's about it.
Measuring my cock.
Yeah, like what's the speed limit? Do you guys have a speed limit? You guys have cars, right?
Yeah.
No, we're miles, so the maximum speed limit is 70 miles per hour.
Oh, you're miles per hour with cars?
Yeah. And everything else, yeah. Europe is kilometers.
So but cars are miles per hour, even though your map or whatever your GPS is saying we're 27 kilometers away. Your speedometer is in miles.
Yeah, even the GPS is miles because it's it's all Google now, isn't it? So
we're slowly taking over.
Yeah,
I can see where it's starting here. We're gonna get Greenland and Iceland, and then it's changing the Gulf of Mexico. Then we're taking over Canada. We're coming for you guys with your horrible meals.
Yeah, I can't argue that, man. You guys are
Poutine. Poutine not a fucking universally loved dish, no?
I'm not a big poutine fan.
Poutine.
Oh, poutine.
It's too messy for me.
It's like gravy and chips and cheese and
it's too messy.
Cum.
Yeah, cum. Yeah, it's like a lumberjack's nachos or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Too messy though. It's too messy. It's combining too many things. I feel like poutine is what everything that you eat looks like in your stomach.
Yeah.
It certainly comes out that way.
It does look like diarrhea.
Minus all the beers and all that kind of stuff. What's going on with you guys? How have you guys been?
Oh,
mate. Well, you go first, Sean. Fucking
fantastic.
I mean, same old shit here. I'm stuck in a cold. I'm going to be going to LA all like 3 weeks of April and a week of May. So I'll be out there for a month doing stand up and visiting everybody. I miss LA a lot, even though it's completely on fire right now. You guys getting good coverage of all those fires out there?
Oh, yeah.
we saw it.
oof, boy, that was bad, bad. I mean, I lived there 27 years probably. And there's a fire season. You know,
Yeah.
when the winds are picking up and it's the same time that it's dry, I mean, you could snap a finger and start a bush on fire. That it's just a mountain of tumbleweeds waiting to get blown up. And the fire, I mean, if you're like smoking a cigarette or joint or anything, you throw something out, it's like a $10,000 fine
Oh,
during
really?
fire season, where it's like a $500 ticket normally. But fire season, they see you throw a fucking cigarette out your thing. Shit,
I
they'll come
don't, I
down on
don't, I don't think the like the pictures and the coverage we got do it justice though. Like the destruction.
you. It's unbelievable. I mean, I can't put it into terms of like, it's cities, three cities, I mean, it's a city of 100,000 people. It's that big.
That's
Is
fucking crazy, man.
not just like some of their completely removed from the map. Every restaurant, every bar, every school. I mean, 15 schools are just completely gone. Dare I say, quite a few golf courses also gone. Quite a few bars that I frequent also gone. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, just Malibu and Pacific Palisades, two gigantic cities, are just completely off the map. Every business, the fire station, the police station, the courthouse, it's just all gone. I don't know how they're going to fucking fix it.
That's
I
gonna
mean,
be
the
a
middle
lot
of
of
the
money
school
to
year, what do you
rebuild,
do
right?
with 10,000 students? Now you got 10,000 students that don't have a school, and it's the middle of the school year. I mean, even just the micro problems, like shit like that, let alone
Imagine
like
though,
where
right?
do these people live? What does it do to the housing? I mean, now you live at a
Imagine,
place where there's so many homeless people there already,
Mm-hmm.
and now you got all these landlords that want to evict their people because somebody wants to come in and buy that house. All these rich people are like, dude, I'll buy anything right now. I mean, it's fucked up.
imagine that one kid though that didn't do his homework, and he's like, "Please God, like save
There's a
me."
God
And
in
then,
heaven. You will burn my school down tomorrow. That's always like those things, you know, when you it was always like in books and movies and shit, like people that make a deal with the devil. But there's always like that back end, like Twilight Zone episodes, like where it was like the back end, you get fucked. Like, I want $1 million. Well, and then you get $1 million, but apparently it was a bank robbery, and then you spend the rest of your life in prison. You don't get to spend the million, you know?
Yeah.
That's like with
you're,
that little kid. Like, just
it,
give me one wish. One wish.
yeah,
Let my
you're
school
think,
burn to the ground tomorrow. And then, you know, the entire city is homeless. This kid's like, yeah,
Not funny, but it's
you're
funny.
you're thinking of the monkey's paw. That's what it's called.
that is the
I think
monkey's
it.
paw. Yep, that's that
Yeah,
classic. And it's been done a trillion different ways. But
yeah,
that is the old classic monkey's paw. And you just keep wishing yourself into a fucking. That's why I know. That's
yeah,
why I don't wish.
yeah,
I don't make
yeah,
wishes, and I don't have any sense of hope.
What about
yeah,
karma?
yeah.
Karma on the
That's
table
it.
now.
Right? I'll reverse jinx anything. I'll never like if I'm watching one of my teams or something like this. I'm never gonna be like, we're about to win this game. I'll be like,
Yeah,
we're gonna fuck this up somehow.
Oh yeah. Every time I
Because then
watch
if we
United
don't,
play, I fully expect to
I get
lose.
I get that adrenaline release when we do actually win. I set the bar low, and then all I can do is exceed my expectations.
Yeah. But fully going in with the expectation of a loss. That's what I do nowadays, especially supporting Manchester United. It's a disaster, man.
Whatever happened? What happened to you guys? Because forever you guys were like the gold standard.
Um,
Well, I guess so. You guys got old.
no, change of manager, mate. Fuck those. As soon as he left, done. Dunsky. That's it.
DK, are you also Man U?
well, I support Sean. I'll keep an eye out for them.
But that's it. But that's not you don't back them, or you don't give a fuck about football.
I just don't. I mean, when it's the internationals, I get interested. Like
Right.
back in June, we had the World Cup,
Right.
and England made it all the way to the final. I think it was against Spain. Was that correct, Sean? Was it
Um,
Sean? Yeah, Spain. Sorry.
what, England
Yeah, it
v
was
Spain
Spain.
final? Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah. So I smoked a joint with my buddy. I
Yeah.
hadn't smoked weed in ages,
Oh boy,
and
how'd that go?
I walked into the pub. I'm high. I'm paranoid. But then I settled in a little bit, and it was all good. But then England lost. But it
Well,
was
at least you
close.
were at the pub. You didn't go like to a stadium with like 100,000 people or something. Going crazy.
Nah, just in a pub. But here's the thing, right? I got to maintain a certain image, right? Because I'm a sports massage therapist, and
Sure. Yeah. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, do you do a lot of like big hot? Do you do that like famous athletes? Have you ever worked with any famous athletes as a massage
Not
therapist?
well. A few. Like a guy who does parkour. Interviewed him. I think that's about it, really. Not really many.
actually, I haven't told you this one, right? So I massaged someone famous recently.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't P. Diddy, was it?
Nah, it wasn't. I'm fucking
Probably for the
Make a
best
Wish.
now. Now it's going so good there.
That's the only time I
Make a
wish. P Diddy.
Ma- Make a Wish never got back to me, the little fucking assholes. Anyway, so. But yeah, no, basically, so the guy's name was, I want to say his name was Simon Stone, so you won't recognize the name, but you'll recognize his filmography.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he was down in the South doing a film shoot with Keira Knightley.
Oh, wow.
And his last film, because he does like these period dramas, like based on real stories, and his last film had like Ralph Fiennes in it, you know, the guy who played Voldemort?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And that's on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it, but that was his big film. But the guy was just like a dude in his 40s, long hair, looked like a rocker,
Uh-huh.
very very unassuming character. 90-minute massage, and massage him and all that. And then he kind of told me about 10 minutes into it, oh yeah, I'm doing a movie. And then
I do
about
movies
2
when
weeks
I
later,
touch
Shut
my
the
dick.
fuck up, 'cause now you're expecting a bigger tip, right?
he didn't tip me, right? But then
Fuck
2 weeks
off.
later, I get a phone call from someone else wanting a massage, and it was a guy who was working as a carpenter on that set, and me and him hit it off quite well.
Oh, that's
Like,
cool. And he heard it from him, right? He's a
say again?
he got the word of mouth was from the actor, right?
Probably, well, the director, yeah,
Or
yeah,
director, I mean,
absolutely.
should have been, right? Well, that's at
So,
least good. I guess he gave you a tip then, sort of,
yeah, I got some business, right?
right?
But it was,
Probably better than a tip.
yeah, but it was all good, you know. And then gave him a copy of my book because that's what's happened since we last spoke. I published my first
Yeah,
book.
yeah, yeah. So how's that been? So you're anything talks about doing a second one?
Yeah, I'm working on a second book, a few other
Does
projects,
that have anything to do with the first one, or is it something totally completely different?
standalone sequel. Yeah,
Okay,
you'll like it. It's about. I'll give you the 10-second premise.
please,
See if
please.
it's about an American time traveler who gets stuck in Manchester in the 1990s and gets addicted to ecstasy and the underground rave scene.
And the underground racing.
Rave scene.
Rave.
Oh, rave scene. I was going to say, was there underground? I know in Japan there was a big underground. That was
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
almost. Yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. So like,
Now,
you
where was
can't
it?
go home.
Was it there first before it was here?
Yeah, so I read a book called Adventures of Wonderland,
Okay.
and it's kind of it actually, weirdly enough, it kind of started in France and Germany
Not
because
surprised.
there was a lot of oppression going on, with the jazz clubs and whatnot, and it sort of stemmed from that. And then once you had the invention of the synthesizer, that kind of upped things up a little bit more.
Right.
And
So it
then
went hand in hand with the music scene.
exactly, yeah, and it was like very underground. And what I learned in this book was the origins of MDMA.
See that now
So
that's where I missed out on that.
yeah, so MDMA was first synthesized in 1912, I want to say, in Germany by the company Merck, the pharmaceutical company Merck. But it was used to try and do stuff with other drugs, and they just kind of left it alone and did nothing with it. And it wasn't until the 1960s that there was this guy who had basically carte blanche from the DEA to do whatever he wanted with any drug. And he fucked around with MDMA. Him and his wife took it, and he called it penicillin of the soul.
Huh.
So him and all his psychiatric buddies started distributing, started giving out prescriptions for MDMA to help with marriages, to help with bereavement, to help with depression.
Sure.
And in a 20-year period, or sorry, a 10-year period, about 250,000 prescriptions of MDMA were given out in the United States. But then it gets down to like the Texas area, and the boys get a hold of it and start dishing it around the clubs. And then it was boom, 1985 Schedule 2 drug.
Well, that doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Texas, other than like Austin, is a very no fun state. I mean, you even get a joint, you might as well have killed somebody.
Yeah, but it was federal. It was across the whole country.
Yeah.
Federal. So that was a
Yeah.
bummer.
Once the government realizes something's popular, well, our government, and they go, well, shit, we're not going to be able to make any money on this. We're going to have to get this, decriminalized so we can figure out how to get our cut. I mean, that's the essence of capitalism. I mean, this country is a business. So it's going to be illegal. I mean, if you can grow pot, let's say in the 80s, 90s even, in the fucking late 90s, you can grow 6 plants of pot, make $5,000 a year, just selling it
Yeah.
to your friends and not even be really a drug dealer. You're not going to tax that. Imagine now somebody's growing up 300-400, plants. It's too easy to make money and not get the government cut in, which is why it was illegal for so goddamn long. And now
Yeah.
it's fucking, you can go to anywhere and buy pot. There's more pot stores near me than anything. There's one street about 5 minutes away, Buchanan, Michigan, one street, little less town of 5,000 people, okay? little ass fucking country town. There are 6 marijuana dispensaries within, I'll put it in yards, 300 yards of each other. You know, I mean,
And
in
do
600 meters, I don't know how far that is, but I mean, it's very short. I mean, on the same street, you don't go to 2 stoplights. On the same street before, on the same block, there's 6, 7 dispensaries. I mean, they're printing money now.
What's the distance in yards? I'm joking. I'm just fucking with you, bro.
What's is it so?
6 football fields. There is every 100 yards. There is a fucking dispensary.
So a healthy dude could just walk into a dispensary and be like, "No, you have to have."
Old. As long as you're 18 years or older, walk in by whatever the fuck you want.
That's fucking crazy, man.
Whatever you want.
Britain's behind in that sense, man. They need
to. And the best thing is about it is that because there's so many, the lack of scarcity, the competition's insane. So it's like having 4 bars on one corner. They're like, hey, $1 pitchers tonight. The other one's like quarter pitchers tonight. You know, you go in, they got all kinds of like, during like around Christmas time, they're like, bring 3 cans of anything for like a donation food drive. Bring 3 cans of anything, get a free joint.
Nice.
I walked in there with all kinds of cans of shit. I had cans of tennis balls. I had all kinds of If I had found a can, I brought it in there.
So are you a sativa guy or an indica guy?
I'm a mixture. Depends what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to play golf or going to a concert or going to a fucking sporting event or something, I like one thing. If I'm going to chill, watch a movie or try to sleep or anything like that, I like another thing.
Yeah.
I like gummies to sleep. Like if you get a good relationship with a certain brand of like sleep gummies, that's perfect.
I took gummies last year and they fucked me up in the morning.
Well, see, I had that same fucking problem, bro. But I just found one that I'll even give a shout out to him for people that are looking. It's a brand called Wonder Sleep. I get nothing from that, nothing other than other people. If you have that kind of affliction, you get a hold of that brand. Because what I liked about it was the first one. You know, it knocked me out. I was fine. I slept through the night. It doesn't get me high; it just helps me sleep. And woke up, had shit myself, and it was 3 days later. No hangover. No hangover. No. I woke up and I didn't have that fogginess with this one. There's a couple other brands that I did have exactly what you're talking about, Sean, but with these ones, they're great. They're great. So, but I guess it just depends what I'm doing. I usually buy like an 1/8 of one and an 1/8 of the other.
The problem over here is you don't get a fucking choice. I mean, you get names, but they don't, and you kind of decipher for yourself whether it's sativa or indica, searching it up and stuff, but you never know what you're getting, really.
I disagree.
What do you mean?
And I'll tell you
what do you mean?
Sorry, Sean. I don't want to speak for you, Sean.
Go ahead.
Basically, what he's saying is that you know, you never know what you're going to get because it's not regulated. All right. So if a guy says it's ammo, if a guy says it's straw dog or whatever they call it, it's like you just have to take a word
trampoline.
For it. Because there's no regulation. But you guys have dispensaries. It's decriminalized there, no? Or is it still...
Technically, yeah, you can get. It's very hard to get medical, like get on the register for a card and stuff. It's very hard. You need proper legit medical, all this shit. But it is regulated, kind of.
Well, I got a question for you then to do with those days, right? So I have the same dealer for quite a while now because I like his work ethic, right?
Okay.
Every other day I get a text message and it's just a newsletter of what's on the menu a la carte. And I'm like, he does that.
See, I will be loyal for that exact same reason. I see what you're saying. And that would get me as well.
Yeah.
He works. I go, man, I'm not going to ditch my guy. He's working too hard.
Yeah. And he's got a hell of a work ethic. He was an extra in Dunkirk. You know what I mean? That's
this guy's guy. He wears a lot of hats.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was his credentials?
Extra work would be a great way to sell pot.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Extra work and you're just on a set the whole time and you got 6 8s in the trunk of your car? Bro, you're making money. How much is pot out there? Like, 8. How do they sell it? They sell it.
An 8 what's an 8? 3.5 grams. Is that an 8?
That's right. Correct. Yeah.
Right. So that would be £30 where I get it from.
See, my Dunkirk boy gets me up to 20.
£5 for an 8?
No, 30. 30.
Oh shit! I must fucking get moved.
I get it for £25.
My mum gets it for 25 because it's her son.
Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive there than it is here.
Yeah.
Like here, it's about 20.
It's probably not worth it. I bet your 3.5s are fucking massive.
They're pretty. I mean, they're all right on the button.
I was probably way 3.5, but then it's mixed with other shit.
Oh no, these are just buds. And you know what the other good thing about these fucking joints are? Not joints, but places. They will just at like the end of the month just blow out like a gigantic, like full ounce of shake for $80.
What would
and
shake
you
be?
can roll joints with it. You know, it looks like a fucking little miniature pillow, and it's just shake. There's no
Oh,
stem.
like the THC, the
Yep,
dust.
just all the
Yeah.
thing that's in the end of the little fucking, because they got these giant barrels of everything, and it's just that little shake, and it's basically free, and you can just roll joints with it, one hitter or whatever the fuck.
And that's the shit that gets you absolutely, zonked.
It is. It can be a bit much. You know, it's basically like if you put weed in a grinder or something like that.
Yeah.
I got one right here. I'm ready to smoke up in a minute.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's fucking grinder share. Yeah.
Well, welcome
smoking
back
that
to
way?
Marijuana and Friends.
Well, no kidding. We've just been talking about weed across the fucking pond over there. Well, I was always just interested because all of my people that I know, and not only just England, all of Europe, everybody smokes. And I'm like, what do you do now that it's even a couple of buddies of mine in Texas too? Because I know you can't get weed for shit in Texas. You got to know a guy. I'm sure it grows great down there. It's perfect condition to grow it. Boy,
Austin would be all right though.
Down there. Oof.
Surely Austin's all right because that's a blue state. It's a blue part, Democrat,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, come on. You know, Rogan's not smoking pot.
Why is it so
but
strict down Texas?
I don't know. They always wanted to be like their own country almost.
Yeah.
Like the history of Texas. As a matter of fact, Texas is the only state that every state, if you see their flags, you fly the American flag, and the state flag is lower than the American flag. Texas is the only one that isn't. And the Texas flag is higher than the American flag. I was actually in Texas, and he pointed that out to me. I go, get the fuck out of here. No shit.
Well, here's something for you then. So we kind of got a part of England that's a bit like that, called Cornwall.
Where's that about?
Cornwall is literally, they call it Land's End. So it's right at, like the bottom of England kind of has that long tail.
Yeah.
They're right at the end of that tail.
Okay. So that's like the Florida. You guys got a Florida over there.
Kind of, but they got a weird ass accent, right? I moved down to the south 16 years ago, and that's when I learned that there was beef between two counties, Cornwall and Devon, and it was called the Pastry Wars because they got the Cornish pasty in Cornwall, they got the Devon pasty in Devon, and like there was fucking war, like not an actual war, but there was real beef going on.
Fucking hate each other.
Yeah, and Cornwall. So basically, here's what happened, right? You had the Anglo-Saxons come over to England back in I can't remember the exact time when this happened. But they invaded the Britons and pushed the Britons into Wales and into Cornwall. So Wales is actually the Anglo-Saxon word for foreigner.
No shit.
Yeah. So Cornwall kind of has this sovereignty about them because they see themselves as the OG like druids, I want to say.
Sure.
They got their own flag. They even have their own language, but it's sort of dying out a little bit.
And I imagine a lot of that will happen too.
Yeah, but then you look at Wales, they got their own language and it's maintained. Scotland, once you get past Glasgow and you head up north to the Highlands, all the signs are in Scottish Gaelic. And there's certain parts up north of Scotland where that's their first language, is Scottish Gaelic.
Boy, I bet you meet a girl at a bar like there, you don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
I'd have to be careful too, because it probably end up being my second cousin or something, you know what I mean?
Could be. There's probably a lot of that going around those parts.
Well, fun fact, right? My third, you ever heard of...
Are you about to tell me you fucked your cousin?
No. Well, actually,
I was fucking my cousin.
I'm glad you brought that up, Thibault, because I've got to ask you a question in a minute, right?
Yeah.
So, but the first thing, you ever heard of the actress Rosamund Pike?
Huh? I don't think so.
She was a Bond girl in Die Another Day. She's in Wheel of Time.
Wasn't Halle Berry the Bongo in that? Oh, no, she was the...
No.
But yeah.
Yeah, the other girl, the blonde one.
Mm-hmm.
That's my third cousin.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is
Same great.
Is she hot? Is she single?
I don't know if she's...
She live in LA.
She was in, yeah, you'll see her. Like once you type it in next time you're on your Google machine, you'll see her.
Right now. What's her name again?
Rosamund Pike.
You don't even know your own cousin's name, dude.
Third cousin, bro.
It's the second cousin.
Third. Or if you want to be
60s.
British about it, she's my cousin twice removed.
Oh. So
So we have the same.
you could,
What is a cousin?
Pardon? Say again?
What is a second cousin? How does a second cousin work? Second
No,
cousin is your
so second cousin is like
kid?
yeah, your parents' cousin, but she's my third cousin, so she'll be my like we share the same great grandparent.
Oh yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff. I know exactly who this is.
Yeah. So so we share the same great grandparent because he had like fucking 12. He had like 12 kids. He was in the Masons. He died of black lung.
he was Henry
My
VIII.
granddad. Yeah. He was actually, yeah, his name was Jack Pike. Big fucking mustache.
Dude, she's
and
got a lot of stuff. You should fucking massage her. She probably knows a lot of people, bro.
I'll be like, I'm your cousin. But anyway, so the question is,
Just whisper that in her ear.
I'm the cousin.
so here's my question for you, and I'm telling this in confidence, all right? Even though it's on a fucking podcast, right? But
somewhat confidence.
one of my closest relatives, like the person I'm closest with, is my cousin. And her name's Tony, and she might as well be my sister because we have like that. We grew up together, love it to bits, right?
Same with my two cousins. They're my closest relatives.
Yeah, but up north, I've got a cousin that I didn't really grow up with, and every time I see her, I'm conflicted because I'm like, she's kind of hot.
Conflicted in what way? Because I have a very similar scenario.
Well, it's like, there's a part of your brain that kind of says, no, that's family. But if you didn't grow up with them, that part of the brain doesn't really kind of branch out, does it?
No, there is so you're saying that there's sort of a bit of a guilt, like I should be close to you, but I don't feel close to you just because we're related.
Well, no, it's just a fact. It's like I find you attractive, but you're my fucking cousin.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're going the other way. You're going the other way.
Because I didn't grow up with her, so therefore the fucking brain hasn't done that thing.
You don't have the family bell going off. You're thinking, dang, that wasn't my cousin. Holy shit.
Yeah, because there's actually a part of our brain that does this, because I heard of this rare phenomenon, right, where a man was in a coma and he had a bit of brain damage, and when he woke up, he thought his mother was an imposter because he was attracted to her, because that part of his brain that kind of stops you wanting to fuck your family was damaged.
And that feeling caused him to think that's not my real mom. That's my BF mom.
And he screwed his mum, or I don't know why I said screwed there, but
I mean, there's only one way to find out if that's really your mom or not, and that's to fucking bang her.
But that's the point I'm making, is like, when you don't grow up with someone, that it gets weird, Well, I told my dad
that's where the genetic disasters come in, when people actually fuck their cousin, and then they give birth to a fucking bag of fucking pus.
Fucking good, yeah.
Fucking give birth to a fucking bean bag that's begging for milk.
Yeah.
Well, I can solve your problem, right out the gate with your cousin, is just let me bang her.
Yeah, man.
I'll swoop in, bang your cousin. I'll give you what it was like, play by play, come back on the show, and then you don't have to even worry about it, because I'll be like, C+, not bad, not too shabby. Kind of looked like you a little bit, was freaking me out a little bit there, DK, but
she actually looks more like Rosamund Pike. That's the weird thing.
Well, I'm in. Just throwing that out there.
Nice.
You need somebody in your family banged, I'm your guy.
Hey, man. Whatever I can do to get free tickets, man, I'm there.
100%.
Speaking of which, last time we chatted, we didn't get a proper opportunity to really discuss your special COVIDiot, which is available on the Apple Store for anyone listening.
Yeah, it's free out there now.
One of my favorite jokes in that was a complete at Netflix. I love that. During lockdown, you complete,
because a lot of it was during the pandemic. Yeah, we recorded it. Now the pandemic's over.
Yeah,
it was like everybody had masks on. We had to have the police had to be there. They had to have someone from the health department there to make sure people were spaced out in tables. It was ridiculous. But yeah, a lot of COVID jokes there.
Do you know what I admire most, though, about that performance? Even though I can't see it, it's only audio, but what I admired most about it is it must be quite nerve-wracking for it to be, a reduced crowd, yet you play to it as if it was a full packed arena, and it really
was. You're totally right. That's astute of you to pick that up, because it did feel, I don't want to say sparse, but it was, every other table was empty. They could only allow me that. I think it was 50 people in a room that sat 200. Maybe it was 100 people. It was half the size of whatever the room was. I think it was about 100 people, but the room held like 230, and we had to turn so many people away at the door. I warned so many people, like, if you get here late, once we hit the number that the police were allowing us to have, you're fucked. So don't be pitting me up like, hey, texting me that you're outside the fucking door, the party's over. This isn't the normal fucking times of where I can sneak you in somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we had to turn a lot of people away because people showed up late.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like first come, first serve. But it was weird in that sense. But I tell you what really it did help me in that is all of the fucking years of doing stand-up at the Comedy Store, in particular in the Belly Room, which it was always like that. No matter what. I mean, it was, if you were on at 11 o'clock at night, that was a 150-seater that had 70 people in it. So you kind of like, it kind of felt like old school a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it felt like stand-up 15 years ago when you're developing your chops. You were kind of in that smaller room in front of half a crowd. So I kind of, it didn't throw me off, but it did. It was almost nostalgic. I was like, oh, I know how to do this fucking vibe. Because I had to learn how to do 70 people in a 150-seater just because those were the only fucking spots we were getting back then.
How big is the Ice House? Similar.
Ice House has 2 rooms, and one of them is about 400 and one of them is about 100.
Because I catch myself always going back to old Ice House Chronicles podcast. I don't know why. I think there's something about...
That was the best. That was some of my favorite times were those days.
I think it's just... Because you're all just fucking around.
Office. There was like an unused office that Red Band turned into a podcast studio that was right in between both rooms.
Yeah, man, they're my favorite to listen to. I think it's all just because you're fucking around. You know you're about to go up live, like for a set. It's audio only, so well, it was on Ustream, but I can never find the videos anymore, man. Fuck, they're gone.
I haven't looked at any of those fucking forever.
Yeah, some of them are, man. I love the old school Brody's ones where you're kind of fucking taking the piss out of him, but kind of trying to help him at the same time. But
he was the best. He was the best to take the piss out of.
I fucking love him, man.
Because he gets so wound up.
Yeah, he would, man.
You know, anybody else knows you're just fucking around or fucking with him, but you know, you could just keep poking at him until he would finally just blow up into this hilarious character.
But it's what helped him, because he always went deep with these mental stories of how he crashed his car and was masturbating with a broken arm and shit like that.
Yeah, if you could get him, if you could push him off the cliff, he was a fun to watch fall. One time I did a podcast with him and Tate Fletcher, brilliant actor and wonderful human being. And Sam and Ari were gone, so just me. I had Tate fill in and Brody. And we were talking. I mean, and it was very innocent. He was talking about Arizona State, and Tate, being an ex-UFC fighter, was talking about their wrestling program. Arizona State has a great wrestling program. And he said they're called the Sun Kisses, right? Isn't that true? And it was true. That's what they were called, apparently. But Brody didn't know that. And he thought we were fucking taking the piss out of him again. And you're going to get negative reports for this. And he's getting fucking pissed off. And he's saying, you guys set me up. You brought me here to give me the business. And he storms off and leaves like 10 minutes into this podcast we were doing in Burbank, which was a hike to get there. And he leaves. Me and fucking Tate are like, holy shit, man, that was fucking weird. We go on, do another 40, 50 minutes, whatever. I go home, have lunch, phone rings, and it's fucking Brody. And I'm thinking, oh shit, he's manic. He's going to give me a fucking ear beating, and he's going to be screaming at me on the fucking phone. So, you nervously wait like a couple rings for it to, like, okay, hype yourself. Okay, all right, I'm going to fucking answer it. You know what I mean? I go, hey, Brody, sorry about that. I think that went well. That's what he says. That went well. I go, you went well. You fucking stormed off. I was doing a bit. Fucking left in 5 minutes. He drove all the way. He drove 40 minutes to Burbank, left after 10 minutes, and then drove 40 minutes back home. I think that went well. I do not think that went well whatsoever.
The man's severely underrated.
That is for fucking certain. Have people been? What's been the feedback on your book, Pike?
Yeah, so I sold 1,400 copies.
Oh, Jesus. That's good though, right?
It's good, but a lot of them were, because basically when I published it, I did it through an independent publisher in our hometown, but I also had the master copies.
What does that mean?
Of the book.
That means you own the rights to it still?
Yeah. So I did it through like connections, like within the family to get it published through their publishing house, Steelbox. But they then gave me the master copies, and then I got them. I got it re-edited by my boy in France to make it reduce the page count, because when you publish through Amazon, you pay a penny a page. That's what you pay.
To sell it through Amazon?
No. So to get a book made by Amazon is a penny a page.
Got you. Oh, wow.
So if I sell my book at £7, £2.90 of that gets taken out of the print cost.
Wow. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Then Amazon takes 40% and I get 60%. So I end up with about £1.50 per copy, right? Jeez. But the whole thing is like when you go into something like this, you got to kind of bear in mind that you're not necessarily going to make a profit on this. You know what I mean? You got to accept that in your mind.
100%.
And so you got to do it for the love. And
that's all of art. That's all. I mean, there's one out of 100 people, or 1 out of 1,000 people. Now I'll equate it to the same thing for doing stand-up comedy. Plan on being broke for the first decade, and then after that, set the bar at like high school teacher money. 1 out of 1,000 are broke.
Yeah.
The rest, you got to do it because you love it, and you'll figure out a way to make ends meet. But if your goal is like, I'm going to win an Academy Award because I like acting, or I'm going to be Joe Rogan because I like podcasting and stand up, or I'm going to be fucking T.S. Eliot or whatever, you're fucked. You got to be. A good buddy of mine, Duncan Truss, and I always used to say this about stand up because we started at the same time. We always would do the same shitty shows together. And it really is a great mantra, which is, if I would do this for free for the rest of my life, I eventually deserve to get paid to do it.
Yeah.
Because by the nature of that sentence, you're going to have the work ethic and the desire and the sacrifice that it takes inherently in you. If your goal is to be rich or to be famous or to be whatever the fuck, you're going to be probably disappointed. You have a 99.99999% chance of being disappointed, frustrated, or because those are the people that quit. Yeah. Those are the people that fail and refuse to try to learn from it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Thibault, I'll tell you this quick story and see what you think of this, because these days I look back on it now. It's been about 3 years since I released this, and I now look back on it and see it for what it was. It was symbolic of a choice I made when I was 24. I managed to get myself, when I was 20 years old, I decided for no reason whatsoever that I was going to learn French, right? For whatever reason, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to learn French.
That's hard.
So,
French is hard.
But I did it, got 6 lessons, and then went over to Montpellier.
You make it sound so simple, man. 6 lessons and I was fluent. Fuck yeah.
I learned like one phrase, and as soon as I got off that plane and started hearing these two baggage guys.
Have you seen my hot cousin?
Oh, my third one that's movie star. Oh, fuck yeah.
No, but anyway, so when I first started getting French lessons, my mum and that they like laughed at me, thinking, "What the fuck are you doing that for?" But I stuck at it, went over there a bunch of times, and within 3 years I was fluent. All right, and then I managed to get myself a job at some like retailer, helping out their French IT department, and I did that job well. And my family after that were kissing my ass, like, "Oh my god, he taught himself, learned French and all that, and landed himself a job doing it, making half decent money."
Yeah.
But within 10 months, the job was fucking killing me, man. Creatively, I was bankrupt at 24 years of age. I'm like, something's not right. This can't be the end point. I still got more of life to live. Because you'd see the same people walking around the office, and every once in a while there'd be a new woman that was pregnant, and her husband worked on the floor above.
Yeah.
So constantly in this proximity, and it scared the shit out of me. I thought, nah, I ain't done yet. So
now, what scared you? What scared? Because I can relate to this as well. Is it the complacency and the lack of spontaneity that was kind of foreshadowing that you were looking at? Like, man, is this going to be it? Is there nothing else? All my creativity is going to other people. They're paying me to give them my creativity. So I have no creativity for me. And now I'm just watching all these people slowly grow old in front of me. Is that what it was? Something like that?
It was something like that. It just seemed so final. So what I'd done was I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to France. Fuck it. Because I saw these cards in the department next to me, and there was these cards that said, "Happy 20 years, happy 25 years." Like,
that's what scared you the fucking most.
That's what scared me the most, was seeing those cards. For 20 years, 25 years, congratulations. Wow. I thought, someone's worked here longer than I've been alive. All right.
Yeah,
So
that'll get you, especially a creative person. There's nothing wrong with finding a job that you like and just rising to the top of it. But if you're like a creative person and you're not doing something creative, especially for yourself, it can feel like a jail sentence, even if it is a great job. If you're not into it, and if it makes you feel like a prison sentence, get a fucking new job, you know?
Well, that was it. So yeah, I handed him a resignation. I typed in on Google places to stay in Bordeaux, found a guy named Lionel. He's a fucking character in himself, that guy. Some like 58-year-old dude. So I stayed at his house for like fucking 6 months.
Wait. You randomly found a guy named Lionel. He's what I heard. So I said, fuck it. I randomly found a guy named Lionel. He was a really interesting dude. And then I just fucking lived with him for 6 months. Do you understand how crazy that just sounded? What did Lionel do?
I don't know, man. It was a mystery, this man. You know, he, you know...
I mean, you let a complete stranger live with him for half a year, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't like... He didn't try to butt fuck me or nothing, man.
Well, I mean, he could have fucking killed you. He could have killed somebody else and used you as a fucking alibi.
Nah, man. Like, I'll tell you what, he was pedantic.
Killed the guy 3 meters down. You wouldn't even know it.
One time, right, I'm in the car. Lionel was giving me a lift into downtown Bordeaux because it was like fucking 7 miles away. Usually I get the tram, but he's like, oh, Danielle, get in the car, I'll give you a lift. And as we're fucking driving down the neighborhood, he just points at some kid with a stick in the mud. And he goes, that boy is my son. He'd been fucking the neighbor lady, like, you know, while he was married.
Oh, wait, was he still married?
No, he was divorced by this point.
Oh,
like, she'd gone.
I can imagine.
But yeah, he was saying, yeah, he'd fucking the neighbor lady, and that kid with the stick, that was his kid.
Did he look like he might have had some mental deficiencies?
Oh, I don't know, man. Kind of reminded me a little bit.
I was like, playing with a stick in the mud. He can't be too bright. He's probably was his cousin next door that he banged. Didn't even know it. He banged his own cousin.
Well, that's it.
Hey, that's classic Lionel right there.
But here's the thing, right? So the whole time I'm living there, man.
Yeah.
Started writing my book, mate. Did a first draft in 4 months.
Now, did you go there with the intention of writing the book, or did you go there with the intention of just clearing your head and seeing what came out of it? And I went there. You know what? I'm gonna write a fucking book.
I was going to restart my parkour career because I used to do that. I used to do that professionally. I did it for 7 years, mate. I got really good at it.
Didn't you ever hurt yourself?
Oh, big time, man.
What was the worst injury? Is that how you got into massage therapy? Because you were so sick of your body hurting?
No, I just wanted to make more money. I'm good at it.
Fucking jumping over trash cans?
Yeah. Oh, mate, I fucking broke my knee on a trash can.
Your patella?
Yeah, my growth bone. I chipped it when I was 14.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was trying to fucking Kong this bin crack, and then had a cast on for like 6 to 8 weeks, man.
What's the craziest, like, you thought you were going to die, but you just jumped over like a fucking pit of alligators or some crazy?
Nah, nothing like that, man. But like twice I nearly got deep vein thrombosis. My leg would just fucking like a football.
So it got infected?
No, I was sound, man. It went down. But you know what I mean? In those moments, you're like, shit, man. You're 14, man. But anyway, so that was probably the worst injury. But fucking didn't stop me. Kept going 7 years later. You know what I mean? I got a video on YouTube, mate. I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, send it to me. Will you ever do any of the fucking... These are the ones that I can't even look at. And I heard Rogan talking about this too. And I go, oh, I know the exact feeling he's talking about. But those people that are like, I don't know, 10, 12 stories above, and they're just walking on like the top of the roof, like the balance beam, like on the right, completely dead.
My heart is on my ass every time.
Handstands and cartwheels and shit.
Nah, you know, yes and no. You know, I mean, it was all about repetition, man. Repetition. You know what I mean? The video shows you 5 minute show reel.
That's got to be core strength too. You gotta have. You still got good abs.
Yeah, man. More so back then, but you know what I mean.
Let's see the abs, bro. Let's see what we're working with here. Let's see.
He's got rippling muscles. Daniel has.
Nah, man. The line's not good, man.
He has rippling muscles. He does.
He looks like it.
He does.
Nah, you know.
You look like you take care of yourself. Yeah. And Sean and I look like we do not.
50% of the time.
I do dick ups. That's about it with my hand.
Yeah. I need help with my dick ups.
Yeah. Sorry, let me just tie this up real quickly, right? So I did that for 7 years, right? And then I quit. I just decided at 21 I just want to do other things, like read more fucking science fiction, get stoned, and write. So that's what I did. But then 3 years later, I'm like, fuck this job. Left, went to France. I'm like, I'm gonna be a parkour guy again. I've still got some time. On my side. I'm only 24. Fuck it. The first day of me doing something in Paris with my mate Manu, fucking rolled my ankle like you wouldn't believe it. And I had no health insurance, so it was just paracetamol and wine and just limped through it for the next 3 days.
Oh, nothing worse than that too. Fucking
And
bad. You can't sleep.
yeah,
Well, you got all swollen, I bet, purple and shit.
yeah. But as I landed on my ass and I knew my ankle was fucked, there was a little voice in my head that just said, "Pick up the pen," and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is over."
That voice was in your ankle. It wasn't in your fucking back. That was your ankle saying, "Please stop doing this.
Help me."
Yeah,
We're
but
10 years ago when we were 14, our bodies could bounce back a little bit better than this.
No, we weren't 14. We were 22, I think.
Yeah, but then you're 24 still doing it.
yeah, so that was it. That was what began the writing process in France. I came back with a fucking swollen ankle and got to work.
No, but is that what like started it professionally, like mindset professionally? Because we all have always wanted to write, like kind of thing. You know what I mean?
That's when I was I'd go for broke. I stopped like my French studies because like even though I was like really good at the language, I hadn't quite got to fluency. But then I decided to write that book and I just fucked it all off. Didn't even make any effort with my French.
It probably, now tell me if this is right or wrong, having the injury probably kind of helped a little bit because you were kind of like almost like the Stephen King book Misery, where you're like total, you can't move, you can't go anywhere, so you might as well just sitting there staring at a wall. So you had it kind of, did that help kickstart like the process? Because starting is the hardest. Everybody's got an idea. Starting
I'll tell you
is the
what,
hardest part.
One little thing about that having a fucked up ankle, right? Because I was limping through fucking Paris, right? People will give you a wide berth.
That's a good band name, Limping Through Paris.
Yeah, I like that. And so people give you a wide berth when you limp. No one barges into you. No one fucking, you know what I mean? No one's up your arse. It's beautiful. I love it. It's like World War Z when they just fucking, the horde goes around you.
Yeah.
A little leukemia kid in Israel.
They're like, oh, look out for this fucking poor bloke.
So yeah, I missed my train, so I had to fucking get on another train with my fucked up ankle halfway across Paris. Finally get on a train. I haven't slept in 2 days because of how painful this ankle is. And I'm sat next to this girl, and I say hello to her, and she's like, hello. I could just tell she don't want to talk, so that was it.
Did she not say bonjour?
She said bonjour, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
You get the vibe, you're like, all right, cool. So 4-hour train journey, right? I haven't slept in 2 days. Try and get some shut eye, and I start fucking twitching in my fucking sleep. So this girl's probably thinking I'm a fucking psychopath, right?
Yeah.
And then like, I remember waking up, and I was wearing these high top Vans, and I had to undo the laces because my foot just kept swelling.
Oh.
So I pulled the laces and I just rubbed my hands on my like swollen up ankle, and I was just like, oh my god, yeah. And this woman's fucking thinking to herself, who is this guy? There was only one other stop until Bordeaux. Once we got to that stop, she fucking went.
She probably wasn't even going there.
I know, and I'm just like, it's not like that. I fucked up my ankle and I'm sleep deprived, please.
No,
You're safe.
but you say something true there. See, when you're like half healed and you're like rub an injury, it feels so good, but so sore at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't give a fuck that she was sat next to me. I needed that relief. You know, do it myself, lady.
Oh, yeah,
it's
probably all hot, too. Your fucking ankle's swelling like that, and it's like 10 degrees hotter than the rest of your body.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, can I get some ice? Let me get some ice out of your cup, bitch.
Yeah, but I was fine. It healed, but I got a weird click now, 8 years later. So that's on me.
I mean, you're lucky you didn't break it.
Yeah, I am lucky. So that's what I did. I followed the advice. I never did parkour ever again, and I picked up the pen. And to answer your question, sorry, I keep blabbering. As soon as I hit that weed, man, fucking I'm jabbering away. But
that's what podcasts are for, bro.
Yeah,
man. You just told a 10-minute ankle story, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, you want to hear? Well, we'll get back to it later. But
when was your last parkour injury, Thibault?
What's that?
When was your last parkour injury?
I haven't had one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't ever even considered a parkour or anything. There's nothing about me, if you know me, that says parkour, especially sober.
Yeah.
Like if,
do you know what?
If I don't have a drink in me, anything else could happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, but if I'm just completely stone cold sober, you're not getting me parkouring shit.
Do you know what done it for me? Right, I was there was a crowd of people, and I jumped on this railing and fell backwards. It's the only time I've ever been knocked myself out. I woke up like 10 minutes later on a bench sitting there, and everyone was quite worried. They were like, you need to go to the doctors or whatever. I was like, no, I'm going home. And I slept it off. I shouldn't really slept it off, but
Oh yeah, dude,
that
that's how fucking Bob Saget died.
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, fucking. I woke up. That's what done it for me. That was the end of my parkour career and the beginning of my writing career. That must have been about 20
Yeah,
years ago.
parkour seems to me like skateboarding without the skateboard.
Oh, I still skateboard to this day, but I love it.
You know, like in the pool and in the like the fucking all those skate parks and all
Ah,
that.
man,
Like
yeah,
that
fucking.
without the actual skateboard, but you're still doing equally as
Yeah, it's
dangerous
extreme. I'm
stuff with
pretty
your
sure
body.
parkour's in the Olympics now. I'm 100% sure. Maybe I'm.
Nah, it's
No?
not. It's
Or is it
not.
in the X Games? Fuck knows. I'm sure I'm
I
seeing it
don't
on
know. No,
TV
no, no.
somewhere.
So what happened with parkour is that it kind of split into different disciplines. So one of the main ones that it became was tag. That's it now.
Oh, I've seen that.
That's
So
actually
that's
fun to
one.
watch,
That is super fun to
Yeah.
watch,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
And I realized that we were born just a little bit too. What would you say? Too late. We were born a bit too late.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
we'd been
We were
born like
still
in the
doing
late
baby
90s.
steps when people were fucking backflipping off the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
here's
That was it.
where you talk about that, like where I'm glad I was born too late is cell phones and dick
Yeah.
pics in particular.
Oh,
Like if
you
I
missed that
was
trend.
13, 14 years old, dude, I mean, and I had a cell phone and there was some, I mean, I can't
Oh,
imagine. I have a lot of teacher friends or high school teachers. He goes, oh yeah, man, the amount of stuff that these people do and getting girls to do on their cell phones and stuff. I would have been a hooligan.
I
I
have a
mean, I'm old
perfect
enough to
dick
remember
pic story,
faxing
but
dick pics. I'm old enough to remember faxing dick pics.
I
Well,
That's like a 5-step process. There's nothing impromptu about that. You can't accidentally fax someone a dick pic. You have days to
no,
fucking reconsider
hey,
no.
if
I
you
got.
really want to send this or not.
You have to get at least semi as well, like make it attractive and stuff. Like
Oh yeah, you got to get a
you have
fluffer.
to
You got to get
dress it up a little bit.
I got a hair and makeup person, everything.
Yeah, get some
Thibault.
conditioner and pubic hair, stuff
Use
like
some
that.
lighting, get proper lighting.
Yeah, get the fucking bright
Cool
white light,
operator.
beauty lamp.
Thibault, you just reminded me of something hilarious, right? So we had this. I used to work at this gym, and we had this creepy janitor. He was a big fan of the podcast. In particular, he was a big fan of your podcast,
Oh,
the episode
wonderful.
that
I
you
was
done
just
with us.
about to shit on him, but I love this guy.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do the litmus test on you now, man.
I was just about to say all janitors are creepy. That was a bit redundant, but now I like the guy. Now he's back in.
Well, you know, he had dark humor, man, and he was into some fucking. He made some admissions where I'm like, whoa, I can see why you're a janitor that works 10 till 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, one time he pocket emailed one of our managers a picture of his bare ass in a locker room, like with a bunch of dudes.
That's God fucking with you there. Because like
But
4 or 5 things have to happen for a pocket email of a photograph to the randomness of his left butt cheek hitting those 5 buttons in a row sequentially, or you have a better chance of being struck by lightning indoors than those 5 buttons getting hit with his left butt cheek in order. He deserved to be fired for that, or he deserves something.
he didn't get fired, but he
He
lasted
was
another year.
promoted head janitor.
They just moved his shift to like when no one's around. He was the afternoon janitor. Now he's the night janitor.
No, he was cool, man, because like I used to always work the 2 till 10 shift, and by 8 p.m. I'm ready to fucking tear my hair out. Not because it's a bad job, because it's boring. You know, it's just being in a building until it's time to go home. I hate
10
it.
o'clock at night.
Yeah, 10 o'clock at night.
That's
Minimum
a terrible
wage.
shift because now your whole night's fucked. There's no, you can't really fucking. What are you gonna do?
That's it. Get high and go to
He
sleep.
used to come
You
around.
got to do your
Right.
fun shit during the day.
He used to
What do you
come
say?
around. He used to come around after work, and we used to get high as shit and watch Cart Knocks. You ever seen
Yeah,
Cart
in the middle
Knocks?
of the afternoon. Your drinking time is like 11 a.m.
No, yeah. For some people,
Yeah, man.
not for us. That's my
Well,
smoke.
I'm
now-
saying, like, if you were going to
but-
go out, like, if you get off work at 10 o'clock, then you're not going to go out at fucking 2 a.m. There's nowhere to go.
No.
No.
But what I'm trying to say is that this janitor, this creepy janitor, like he made the last 2 hours of my shift that little bit easier because we go out for a little vape, you know,
Right.
talk shit, and you know, I get him watching the podcast and that.
Yeah. God
But
bless
yeah.
a good guy or a girl that you work with that you can fucking fuck off with.
No, the women hated him, so I was kind of like their buffer, you know, to kind of keep him distracted.
Oh, I'm sure the women hated him.
Oh, they did.
If he likes our podcast, he's not a fucking not a lot of women. I don't got a lot of fucking I don't get a lot of DMs from girls like, "Hey, I love this episode when you were talking about how we shouldn't vote."
I love the episode where you were talking about Alaskan pipelines.
Yeah,
Right.
callback. I was trying to be more like, healthier with my lifestyle choices as of late because I've been out of a relationship for the last 3 months now.
And this, sorry, go on.
And so I was like, you know what? Don't watch any porn. And I was like, okay, I won't watch any more porn. I'm gonna be healthy. But then there was like a little compromise, a little caveat. I was like, but you can watch like softcore stuff on like YouTube and that.
I thought you were gonna say you could make porn.
Nah, yeah, fucking, it's too much effort, mate. Because by the time you got all set up, your lighting set up and all that, you're like, I'm not even feeling it now. I just want to make a movie.
Right.
You just sneak a camera in your third cousin's room.
Yeah.
That's it.
But then as I get to the end of the video, I'm still doing my thing, right? This is YouTube, right? Softcore, right? And then as it finishes, you know what the next video was? Fucking Challenger disaster. And I knew that I had fucking 70 seconds to blow my load before, you know, it becomes a hate crime. So
what happened? Did you get to the Challenger or did you?
I just abort mission, mate. I was like, I can't do this, man. Fucking,
that's the only thing I can come to is the Challenger disaster. It drives me nuts. I've tried everything too, man. I've tried watching 9/11. I watched 9/11 in reverse. That was close. You watch 9/11 in reverse. That's a story of vindication. The guy jumps into the building. The plane goes flying out. It's great. But forward, well, that's a tough one.
Yeah. I thought of that the other day, and I thought I'm going to do that on Thibault. A fucking Challenger joke.
That is a good Challenger joke. I heard this good bar joke. You know those old fucking classic bar jokes. This isn't a stand-up joke of mine or anything. That's just one of those bar jokes going around. There's a good one. I'll touch you guys. And you guys could get anybody with this. When you see how this goes, then you'll see how you could really set anybody up into the right position for it. It's 3 guys. They're mates. They always go to the same pub. One guy's real fucking tall. One guy's big, fat fucking guy. And just a regular ass guy. They always hang out at the same pub. And the fucking tall guy goes, I've never seen anybody as tall as me before. I think I'm going to try to get in the Guinness Book of World Records. Take a picture of me next to this fucking tape measure. See how tall I am. I'm going to send it in. Maybe I'm the fucking tallest guy in the world. Fucking fat guy gets thinking and he goes, I'm a pretty fucking fat fuck. And I've never, in my 40-something years of being alive, I've never seen anybody as fat as me. Grab the camera, go get on the scale, take a picture. Maybe I'm the fattest guy in the world. I'll go to the fucking Guinness Book of World Records too. The regular guy gets to thinking, he goes, in all honesty, I played, high school sports. I played a little bit of sports at university. I was in jail for 6 months. I've watched a lot of porn. I've seen a lot of dicks in my day. And I've never seen a dick as small as mine before. I might have the smallest dick in the world. Let me see the tape measure. I'm going to go in the men's room, take a picture of this thing. I'll send it in. Maybe I got the smallest dick in the world. I can be in the Guinness Book of World Records and we'll be bros. A couple of weeks go by. They all get their letters. So they bring it to the pub and they open them up together. Tall guy opens up his fucking thing and he goes, I did it. I'm the tallest guy in the fucking world. I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records. And the fat guy's like, oh shit. He opens up his and he goes, well, it's not the best news in the world, but I am the fattest guy in the world. I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records too. And the other guy opens up his letter and he goes, who the fuck is DK Pike?
Fucking asshole.
I mean, you could throw anybody's name in that one, but it's a good bar party joke.
Yeah,
that's good.
Anybody take that one? You can throw anybody.
I'm honored, dude. I'm honored.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's very good.
So wait, did you have a dick pic story you were saying?
Oh,
Sean does, yeah. Go on, Sean. Go on, sir.
So I'm gonna kind of describe this in third person because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. So
yeah, you can just don't use real names if you don't.
I won't. Yeah, I won't use my name. I'm nothing.
Doing the second person perspective, mate.
No, I'll go with the so these dudes they play.
Do it in third person.
They play snooker in snooker hall uptown. Yeah. And they find this dude's phone. So they think, let's have a laugh. Let's look for his pictures and stuff like that,
Oh, a random person's phone.
Oh yeah, just I don't.
Okay.
And they're looking through their pictures and stuff, and they find some juicy dick pics of this guy, and also his Facebook's logged in, so that makes it even juicier. And so these guys decide to set his profile picture as his dick pic, and then
it's a good move.
Yeah, and then
I'm
they
so
log
far,
out.
so far. I'm liking this move.
Yeah. And then they decide to throw his phone in a fucking lake, so he couldn't find it. So God knows how long it took him to change his fucking profile picture.
Well, for sure, emergency one, phone's gone, lost my phone. Holy shit. Goes home. He can't get in, so he goes home and he gets on his laptop and goes to probably Facebook and be like, "Hey, I lost my phone," and it's just a shitstorm of messages. And anybody calling him to be like, "Dude, what's going on with your fucking Facebook pic? Did you just get hacked? It's a picture of your cock." All those calls are going straight to the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, yeah, they're gone. Just no goals, just comments and likes.
That's a
Maybe
fucking balls out move right there.
a couple of angry faces. I think I seen. No, not I seen. They seen.
And you have
Yeah.
nothing to do with this. Is this what you're saying?
No, I just I read this somewhere.
Oh,
This was in
sure.
this was in the paper. This was in the Sun.
You guys guessing? Oh,
Right.
that does sound like a Sun story. It
Yeah,
definitely sounds
yeah,
like
yeah,
it definitely
yeah.
sounds like a Sun story.
I'm nothing to do with this at all.
Nobody knew the guy though.
No, I
Oh,
don't
so
think.
it wasn't like a guy. See, but that's a good one on your buddies because you
That's
hear
the
about
thing.
this
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
story forever.
Because
To
I
happen
mean,
to a stranger, I would have gone to the guy's page and just for like, I'm just here for the fucking comments.
in some countries it could be seen as a hate crime or revenge porn, maybe.
Revenge porn, yeah.
Probably,
Slut
yeah.
shaming.
But I'm nothing to do with it, so
Oh,
I'm don't look at
not
me. I'm just
bullying.
telling the story. I'm passing it on.
I
Yeah.
think it's a great story.
I'm nothing to do with
Be
it.
more stories like back in the day at the Comedy Store. That was the big one. Was somebody would leave their phone and you would get their phone, and then you would tweet out from there and on their Facebook and Twitter how much they love black dick.
You did that to
And
Matt Edgar, didn't you?
I can't fucking tell you how thirsty I am for a big, thick black cock. You know, you would do that. It would just be so stupid. And then, so the rule was if you ever got somebody, I find DK's phone and I get him. Now I'm in. And you cannot have your phone locked at all, period. You can't lock your phone. So if you leave your phone or somebody finds a tricky way to steal your phone, you have to be unlocked if you ever get somebody good. And my buddy Adam Egett, who was the booker of the Comedy Store, he's a booker over at Rogan's Club now. Louis Anderson, rest in peace, Louis Anderson, was in love with Adam Egett. Like, we wanted to fuck him big time. And one time he was telling me, man, this fucking Louis keeps fucking texting me. I should go to Vegas and hang out with him. I'm fucking so sick of this. And then he leaves his phone on the fucking table, and I grab his phone and I go into his text. And all I texted Louis Anderson was, "Hi, are you up?" It was about midnight. Bro, bing, 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 bong, bing, bing. And I just put it back on the table. And I just sat and waited for Adam to come back with 2 beers or whatever. I mean, we were sitting at the bar. So he just went out to get drinks, came back, and he looked at his phone like this, looks down at his phone, and just does this to me. Looked at me like, are you fucking kidding me? And he was like 14. Come and get in my hot tub. Why don't you come to Vegas? Just bombing him, bro. It was the best. Like, I finally got him to stop messaging me just by ignoring him for like 2 days. Then, "Hi, are you up at midnight?" It's probably what killed Louis Anderson was that text.
Fuck. What are you smoking there?
Cheeseburgers killed Louis Anderson. This is what is this called? This is called what is this called? This is a sativa. Or no, this is an indica. And this was called it was a funny fucking name. I wish I could unicorn, 2 unicorns, 1 poop.
Nice.
That is the name of it. And the bag of it had 2 unicorns on it, and just rainbows were coming out of their butts. I go, yeah, give me some of that shit. Now I just buy it by what's the funniest name, because now that seems to be a contest here of all the funny pot fucking names that are always some play on words or something just stupid. Pink pussy. I go, let me buy some pink pussy. You know, they just want you to say stupid shit.
Yeah, and here's the interesting thing, right? Is that people who are making weed, like where it's legal, where you're at, all right, it starts to attract people who wouldn't otherwise be in the business of dealing drugs. But now that they can legitimately,
right, for sure.
It's an art form, and and you always get these autistic fucks, and I can say that as someone that's on the spectrum myself.
Sure.
you just get these horticulturists or whatever the fuck you call them that are just they just love fucking
Well,
plants.
people that are into it now can legally get into it without looking over their shoulder and just do what they do good. This is what you're just like what we were saying earlier, man. You find something you're passionate about. I want everybody to be passionate about their job, because you know what that will equal? Everything getting done right with attention to detail. And I feel the same way about weed. You know, I had a joke about, I won't mention the person's name, but he had a thing about like vaccines. And he was like, I don't trust the government. I don't trust these, I'm going to say scientists. I don't have blind faith in it. I go, now, whether you want to get a vaccine or whether you don't, that's not the argument here. The argument is you used to do street math. You're awesome at blind faith. I mean, you don't know who the fuck was making that shit, and you would buy that and do that. I'm trusting scientists. I'm trusting people with degrees. I'm trusting people that have researched shit, you know?
Yeah.
And that same thing with fucking weed. Now that it's legal, decriminalized, now we can get the real people making the real good shit.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, say what you will about Big Pharma, but they do make some good shit.
Yeah, they're just the most dishonest fucking money-grubbing fucking greedy fucking white fucking American fucking gray-haired pricks.
Yeah, but if I like their drugs, I'll take them. You know,
yeah,
like
totally agree with you.
ADHD medication.
Yeah, so that's what, mate, exactly. I was going to bring that up. You said something last podcast, and I was still working on my brain. That is, like, you casually just take ADHD medication. What does that do to the brain?
Oh, mate, you want to hear what happened most recently? Thibault, you want to hear this?
Yeah. Now, what medication is it?
I don't have a prescription. I get it through other means, but
I know. But what is the actual whatever you're taking? What is it?
It's called lisdexamfetamine. So
it's kind of like Adderall, let's say.
It's what's called It's like Adderall acts quickly, whereas this one lisdexamfetamine it's called. It's slow release, so it takes about 2 hours to start kicking in, and then it lasts for like 12 hours.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a bit much.
And yeah, my ex-girlfriend, she had ADHD, so she had a prescription for this medication. She took 40 milligrams, and I just started fucking taking it, and I loved it. Fell in love with it.
So what happened? You painted every house in the neighborhood?
Oh mate, I would write for 5 hours straight sometimes.
Yeah.
Like the amount of material I produced in like a 3-4 month period was prolific.
Do you find it to be addictive?
It's not addictive in the sense that like you don't need to keep taking more. You just take one tablet, right? But what happens is that it becomes your normality. So what starts off as a novelty quickly becomes the expectation.
That's kind of where I was. In that sense, I'm an addiction. Like not like right when you're done, you want to take another one. The next day.
Yeah, it's like
it quickly becomes, normalcy.
Very similar to my relationship with weed. If it's there, I'll take it, and when it's not there, I don't take it. You know, I would say I feel the same way about it. All of that. And
if I don't have weed for 5 or 6 days, I'm not freaking out.
Yeah,
I'd be disappointed.
If you get it, I smoke it every day.
That's what I mean. So
I mean, if I wake up and there's no weed, I'll be kind of disappointed. But I'm not going to punch someone's face for do you know what I mean? I'm not going to be fucking livid about it.
I seem to last about 3 weeks, and then I'm back on the weed again. So I usually have like 3-week breaks.
Yeah, I'd probably do 5, maybe a week. I'd go about 7-8 days or something.
Yeah. But yeah, so this ADHD medication, man, so I started taking it again 4 days ago. I hadn't taken it in 3 months. And, man, it blew my fucking socks off the first day.
You take it every day?
Well, I've taken 4, and then I'm going to leave the rest for next month.
See, now there you go. So what you're trying to say is you're trying to develop a healthy relationship with this and using it to your advantage instead of allowing it to become the normal.
Yeah, because I'm normally a productive person anyway. I get shit done. But, you know, you take it and then you just get this sense of like, the best way to describe it is that your brain is going so fast that the world starts to lag. You feel like you're 3 seconds ahead of reality when you first take it.
Uh-huh. Did you ever take Adderall?
No, I've never taken Adderall, only this one. In America, it's called Vyvanse, and in the UK, it's called Elvance, but the actual drug's called lisdexamfetamine.
Okay. Now I've heard of that.
Yeah, but it's powerful. So you can take it for a few days and then it's like, fucking right, now leave
Does
it
it make
alone.
you not eat? Does it have all the same amphetamine side effects?
Yeah, I can eat, but you kind of have to manually do it. You know what I mean? You
I
kind of have to like
understand. You don't feel the need to eat as much. Does it dehydrate you? Does it make it impossible to sleep?
first day or two, like you piss like a racehorse, and
Interesting.
then yeah,
Interesting.
and yeah, you just like you do all the same shit you'd normally do, but you do it for longer. That's all I can do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've never taken that, but I have taken Adderall just for
Yeah,
the
you
first
don't
time I
get
remember
that.
I was at a roller skating. Dude, I forget what comedian it was. It was a comedian who always, for his birthday party, used to always have he would run on this roller skating rink. And he would, why can't I think of his fucking name? I'll think of it. He was in, Reno 911. You know that show? You know, you get that show? Yeah.
A little
Familiar
bit,
with that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a little bit.
He was the guy that always plays the fucking gay guy on roller skates. Can't think of his fucking name.
Oh, has he got blonde hair? No.
Kinda. He's
Oh,
from Minnesota. It doesn't matter. I don't. Anyways, he would always have these roller skate parties. This is shit. 98, 99, something like that. It was a long time ago. And so the open bar, whole roller skating rink, private party, but there's like 150 people a day, and everybody's a comic or we're working in shit. I would know everybody at the thing. It was always one of the funner parties of the year. And someone was like, "Hey man, you want to fucking take one of it?" And I was like, "Man, what?" It was just fucking Adderall, just Adderall. He's like, "Oh, just kind of gives you energy, kind of makes you like concentrate with it." Right? Yeah, fucking sure. Now, I had never done any amphetamines, but I'd done a lot of cocaine at the time. At that time in my life, I was no stranger to cocaine. And I just knew this was like a study drug, party drug. People was pretty new on the scene. About 20 minutes into roller skating and having some beer, I go, I am straight up coked up. Like I took one fucking, I'm talking 1,000 miles an hour. I can drink a fucking like 10 times more than I can normally drink. I go, this is what they're misprescribing children with? And then they sit in their basements and play fucking shooter games. And then they go into all these school shootings. No one's putting this 2 and 2 together here.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the kids that it does help, but they were misprescribing that left and right in America for children to just shut them the fuck up.
Yeah.
I go, the ones that this doesn't work for is straight up cocaine.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I could get a prescription for it, but it takes 3 years, so I just can't be arsed with that.
It takes 3 years to get a prescription?
Yeah, because you got to like get diagnosed with ADHD. Like I'm on the spectrum,
for that. Okay.
so but like they don't give it to people with autism. So it's like, but still like 10% ADHD in there somewhere.
Why don't they give it to people with autism? Because of the side effects of it or something?
I don't know. Like 50% of the time, there's a 50-50 chance, depending on what type of autism, man, that it works, and it does work with me. But I can't fucking take it too often because it fucking associate.
Then it changes who you are essentially.
It's one of those things where you associate the good experience with that thing. He's like, I need that thing for this experience.
So
like,
how far are you from ADHD on a scale?
Mate, like 80-20, I reckon, like 80% autistic, 20% ADHD. Because it's been seen now as a continuum rather than a spectrum. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're like the most non-autistic, autistic person. It like the most friendliest way to describe it. Like.
No, I get it, man.
You'd never tell.
I know a couple of, family friends of mine, a lot of autism in my life. And I think that's probably the most non-diagnosed. I don't say misdiagnosed, but there were so many people that are legitimately on the spectrum a lot further than they even think they are, when they don't even think that they are. That, and I wonder if that's always been like that, or is this something new pandemically where we're getting so many more autistic people now? Or is it just something that, hey, we didn't know a lot about autism before. It was always there. And now that we know about it, we understand it more, and no one knew about it 40, 30 years ago or something.
I think it's like men's mental health, innit? I think it's a lot on social media, a lot more than it used to be. Like, I mean, a full Instagram page is dedicated to their autism.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's not like taboo to talk about it now, I don't think. Really.
Mental health,
autism, fucking.
I think it is, right?
It's all out there now.
Here's what happened, right? So like there was a bit of a boom in 1988 after Rain Man came out, because Dustin Hoffman was playing an actual real life autistic savant named Kim Peek.
Mm-hmm.
But it later turned out that Kim Peek wasn't an autistic savant. He had some sort of syndrome called PG. I think it was called like PG. It was called, where like the corpus callosum part of his brain, the middle part of his brain, was just missing. So
Oh, wow.
his brain was just fucking firing all different directions. He would retain 98% of the things that he read. Apparently, he would read each page in 8 seconds, right? But he had no skills whatsoever to look after himself. So his dad, Fred, an elderly man, took care of him. And that's what Dustin Hoffman based the character of
Interesting as shit.
of Raymond on, was Kim Peek. And then Kim Peek eventually died of a heart attack in 2009, and then Fred a few years after that.
Wow, that's great, and that does make sense. That
And
that
won
would
Oscar,
bring
didn't
light
it?
to just that whole world, I would imagine.
It was going on before that, but that really kind of put a lens on it. And then, so I'm that generation of children that in the wake of Rain Man, because for you to get diagnosed with autism in the 90s, you had to fucking have autism, mate. You know what I mean?
It had to be problematic in your life.
Yeah.
It
Sean
had to be
kindly said,
problematic in other people's lives.
yeah. You know, Sean kindly says that, you know, I don't seem to demonstrate it that much, but as a child, fucking you better believe it, man.
I bet.
The council social services had to get involved, because when I was 3 years old, I used to climb over this 4-foot chicken wire fence in my nappy and go into the neighbour's house and fucking raid that knife drawer. I was in
Holy
nappies.
guacamole.
And social services got involved and built a 6-foot tall wooden fence to separate the two back gardens, so I couldn't go in there anymore.
Then what'd you do? Get a grappling hook?
Nah, man, I just
Built one with bare hands from scratch.
that explains.
Build a grappling hook. I got old band-aids.
Yeah. You know, I was never allowed in their house, but the kid that lived there always come to my house. So
Were their parents always like, "Hey, man, you can't play"?
Yeah, and used to kick the fuck out of each other if you beat each other on a game.
If
yeah.
you're going for spoons or just like paper plates or something.
No, he was going for the
"Ah,
knives.
that kid-
No, he was
kid's
100% going for the knives.
harmless."
because of my like condition, like I was very receptive to my environment, right? So when you're 2-3 years old and your brain's still developing at a fucking extraordinary rate, you know, I was doing what's called mimicking. I was like all children do; they mimic their environment.
Yeah.
And you know, I was a big fan of the little children's series Fireman Sam. It was just a BBC children's animation about a fireman, and I used to fucking go around the house in my nappy with a fireman's helmet on. I'd bring the hose in from the back garden. My dad would be laying on the couch stoned and said he'd be cracking up laughing.
And would you just start fires and just put them out?
Nah, man, I wasn't that sophisticated, man.
Thank
But,
God.
you know.
Thank God.
I was gonna start worrying about you right there.
So there's my little fucking autistic story for you. There's many of them.
Yeah, but it's so interesting, like how you just navigate through life. Because socially, it's difficult for you. Yes.
Yes and no. Like I'm nearly 33, man. I don't give a. Like,
I mean, historically, I mean, teenage years and all that.
Oh
other stuff.
fuck yeah!
I think the most
mate.
autistic thing I've ever witnessed with you, Daniel, is that time in school when you're about to beat the shit out of this ginger kid. But beforehand, you put your headphones in for like a 5-minute like pump up session with your music.
Dude, that is the fun. That is the best. You had to hype yourself up with a fucking good hype song. Hang on, we're gonna fight, mate. Give me 4
Yeah,
minutes.
No, this guy had no idea. This guy had no idea.
Pump the fuck up.
Sean, do you want to tell the story, or do you want me to tell it?
You tell it. You tell it.
All right. So I'm not proud of this, Thibault, but bearing in mind I was a teenager. My brain was still
I think he
developing.
deserved it. No, to be fair, like
Everything under 25 is fair game.
Yeah. So Thibault, you be the judge of whether or not this kid deserved this, right? But you know, I had a few fights here and there in school. Nothing like major. Just a couple of like C-tier bullies. You know, I took on the.
B2.
Yeah, C-tier bullies. You agree, Sean, don't you?
dinner lady, yeah.
Yeah, couple of fat kids in the year above. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, some ginger kid that used to always piss me off. Sorry, we're talking about
we-
you. Go ahead.
We had this little crew of friends. We weren't the popular kids. We weren't the losers. We were just kind of like this indie sort of middle ground because, you know, we had a friend who sort of sold cigarettes to different people in our year and the year above. So we were kind of like protected.
We had that
you know
level
what I
of
mean?
respect.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we just had this ginger kid that would just join us, and he was if I'm like fucking 80% autistic, this kid's like 110% autistic. Like
Now,
He
to be
just
clear, he wasn't invited. He just kind of was a hanger-oner and be like, I want to hang out with these guys.
Yeah, see, we had
yeah,
this style as well where we were like, I mean, we don't want to hang around with this guy, but then again, we can just include him and
yeah.
anyway,
Right.
like, just
Sure,
fuck
It's
it.
sure.
just like a captured planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
Fucking
A
like,
captured planet.
yeah, attracted
Planet
to our
X.
Exactly.
gravitational pull. Yeah, that's what it was
Yeah,
like.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally get it. That's a great way of saying that. A captured planet.
yeah. Planet X.
Planet X.
So we'll call him Nibiru. All
Yeah.
right. Right. So anyway, this yeah, and but sometimes he would kind of like we all started doing parkour at 14. All of us, you know, it really blew up in 2006 in the UK because we had fucking burnt buildings for youth centres. So we
Sure.
just, you know what I mean? We had the one place that was kind of nice, little youth
Yeah, the
centre.
roof
But
looked like
anyways,
this.
yeah. And this kid, you know, this ginger kid, he was quite good, wasn't he? Like
He just
kind
had
of
this.
in a
He
way.
had these ankles that made him leap very far. It was like redhead kind of ankle strength. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it was like he kind of had that autistic sort of fucking neo kind of like he kind of break out the
I am the
matrix
Like
one.
an angry kangaroo.
on
Yeah.
a good day he could just about break out the matrix. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And but anyway, he started like making little clips and putting them on YouTube with like Linkin Park music on it, his little parkour montage and stuff. Like 144p quality videos we're talking about here.
And he'd always cut out at the end as well, where he like nearly fell. He'd always cut that bit out.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ironically.
so he made himself look good.
Yeah, yeah. I
but
mean, he could still leap
but
very far, though. I'll give him that.
but what his downfall was is that things started picking up a little bit for our little group of friends. Like the people in the town started noticing what we were doing. We got a little bit of attention, and so we organised. We're going to get we're going to get like a parkour club opened up for us, and we were going to get some funding in that. So then it started getting corporate, and he wanted to be a part of it, and we were just like, "Fucking no chance, mate! Like this is our thing. Fuck off.
Yeah.
You're lucky to be here." You know what I mean? That's what I even said to him at the meeting. I was like, "Mate, why are you even here?"
Right, 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 right. You just
But
showed
anyway,
up.
yeah. But anyway, so cut a long story short, right? He starts bragging that he can do a front somersault on flat ground, right? But he just would never demonstrate on the day. He'd be like, "Nah, I did it in my garden. My dad saw me." I was like, "All right, mate, all right." Meanwhile, I'm on a little fucking trampoline, just drilling it. We didn't have anywhere to practice, right? So I'm just drilling front flips on a fucking little shitty Argos trampoline.
Yeah.
And within about 2 weeks, I fucking nailed the front flip, right? And I'm just running on the playground, the grass, the field. And I remember Sean was like, "Ruh, watch this." And I just went boom and just landed a fucking front flip. And I was like, I just kept doing it all lunch break. Like looking back, I'm like, how did we have so much energy back then?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't need speed back then, mate.
Oh, sure. No, not
You
at
know
all.
what I mean?
Yeah, you actually hated it. It was
Yeah,
every time I would be sleeping, I'm like, this is keeping me from doing dangerously cool shit.
yeah, that's it. But yeah, but he'd been shit posting about us on the internet previously. You know, like putting up websites with passive aggressive bullshit about us. Anyway, so we're walking to class the next day, and I get tripped over. I didn't fall over, but I regained myself, and I look behind me, and it's him. And he's just, yeah, I looked at him. I said, "You just tripped me up," and he just sort of smirked at me, and I was like, "All right, it's on." So I went into science class, and I said to Sean and our other mate, I said, "Mate, I'm gonna kick the fucking shit out of him." All right. I said, "Just to let you guys know, that's what I'm gonna do." And they're like, "All right." And I said, "Here's the plan. You know, I don't like fighting these days, so you got to like start pushing him while I get myself all worked up, and then I'm just gonna go for it." So that's what happened. So I've got my little MP3 player in there. I'm just listening to like fucking Mortal Kombat soundtrack and stuff, just getting
Or that
pumped,
who doesn't get hyped up to that.
right? And then I see Sean and our other mate pushing him back and forth and all that, and I'm just going, "Ah," right?
Did you take the headphones out?
Well, there was a guy named Ed, and he said, "Dan, is everything all right?" As I was getting pumped up, he's like, what's going on?" I was like, "You'll see." That's what I said to him
You
apparently.
knew. You were focusing your rage. It's something
And
about
then,
youth. I think he would be able to fight. Can he fight, Sean?
Who? Daniel.
DK.
I've not very witnessed many fights of his, but this particular time he kind of kicked the shit out of him. Yeah.
well, I did and I didn't, right? So
What
Well,
do
see,
you
this
mean,
is the bit.
like technique, like MMA style? Like what kind of style is he? Like
No,
no,
it was aggression, wasn't it? I did a lot of right
but it was
hooks.
like teenage fucking just wail, you know.
Yeah,
Absolutely
yeah.
no strategy.
Wild hooks, yeah.
A teenage
No,
fight is just like
it stayed on the legs. All right, it stayed on the legs. But here's the thing: I beat him and I lost. And here's how it happened. Right, I just kept fucking punching him in the back of the head. I don't know what the fuck his head's made out of, mate, but my hand broke. Right.
oh yeah.
I must have punched him about 8 times, and I could feel my hand going. And he's just like, "What the fuck's going on?" I'm like, "Ah!" And eventually my hand broke, and I kept punching him, and then I just ran off. But he didn't have any bruises, any marks, nothing. He didn't have a blemish on him.
And you got a broken right hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he came up to us the next day, me and this other guy, and he was like, "You just went a bar that way," and we kind of shit ourselves. Like, no, no way, it wasn't us. It was some other guy.
So I go to the school nurse, and she's like, "What happened to your hand?" I was like, "Oh, I tripped over my own leg," and she just fucking burst out laughing, and then didn't ask any more questions, and I wrapped it up, and then I couldn't tell my mum what had happened, so I had to hide it, even though my hand was fucking swelling up.
And you're right-handed. That's a hand you write with. Everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Normally do everything with.
Yeah. Oh wait. Well, right. So basically, I hid my hand from my mother when I went home, and then I went to youth club because my plan was I was going to tell her that I broke my hand doing badminton because we had a badminton court in the youth club.
Uh-huh.
And
by the way, you couldn't think of a pussier way to break your hand than playing badminton.
Hey,
The shuttlecock hit me in the wrist.
yeah. Hey, I'm my mother's angel, mate. Like I'm her child, man. She'll believe anything.
Well, I guess, but I mean, she doesn't understand badminton is probably more likely. Because how do you break your hand playing bad? You could have said anything. Oh, I was doing push-ups and I hurt my wrist. I was punching a punching bag or anything. But you're like, no. I was playing Monopoly and fucking. You're like, what? How did you? Okay.
Do we have a universal like the badminton's the gayest sport on the planet?
It's
mate, but you get a good sweat going, man. You get a good sweat. I like it.
I can see it. It's basic. I mean, it's
easy to dip in and out of.
It's pickleball for the air.
Yeah, I like sports where you can just pick up and play.
I agree with that, but I find those to be more games than sports. Like I don't think pickleball is a sport. I think badminton's a game.
They've
I don't even think golf's a sport.
They've elongated the bat for no reason, and the thing you're hitting is called a shuttlecock.
Shuttlecock, yeah.
Both gay.
Yeah.
Nothing against gay people, just
they call the racket a bat.
Something like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
little bat.
We're getting up into the gay zone.
Yeah, totally.
But still, game. It's not a sport. To me, sport requires an athlete. You have to be in some sort of shape, or have some incredible skill to be able to. Like
probably have to have nice calves, I imagine.
Nice calves, nice something. I mean, I guess baseball. There's a lot of fat fucks that play baseball, but still, that requires a lot. I mean, it's hard to hit that fucking ball so far.
Have some sort of stamina to jog around the bases, I suppose.
Something, but I mean, pickleball, badminton. Those are games. Golf is a game. Any sport where you can drink and it might even make you better. That's not a sport. That's a game.
In the summer, my cousins used to play rounders and snort coke.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was nice. We had the beach behind us. Fucking.
That's a game.
Talking about snorting coke, right? Is it ever made you scared about being gay? This is going somewhere because there's a English referee over here that used to referee soccer, football, and he recently got sacked for getting caught on video sniffing cocaine and calling a Premier League manager a cunt and stuff like that, yeah. And he's recently, I think, come out today. I haven't actually read the story, but he said that sniffing cocaine made him scared that he was gay. That's why he said those things. And
oh boy, there's a lot to unpack with that.
I mean,
I don't feel so bad about my.
So he did. Was he working? Was he working at a game or a match?
He recently managed a game and he made a lot of questionable decisions. So they investigated him, and they found videos and stuff of him snorting cocaine and calling a manager stuff.
Well, I don't know. Should have gotten sacked for that.
Yeah,
I mean, just because you're gonna make a bad call.
Yeah.
If you're fucking, I don't want any of my referees on anything. Go after the game. Go nuts.
Yeah. Have a bias against another team. You need to be neutral.
Especially if I'm gambling. So many people are gambling, and then you got this fucking dipshit fucking making crazy fucking coke calls.
No, but
But the gay part
it's the guy that is that a get out of jail card in 2025? Oh,
might be.
I'm gay. I'm gay.
It might be.
Nah, man,
No.
It might be.
not anymore.
Is well now that Trump is apparently not very fucking gay friendly. It might be the new autism or the new fucking OCD or whatever everybody seems to claim. Anxiety too. That was one for a couple of years too.
Yep.
It affects my anxiety. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
has anxiety for one.
Yeah.
Okay, stop using
Call me.
anxiety as like the new key word to get your
Yeah.
stupid fucking actions validated.
You know, call me a cynic, but I kind of can't wait for the AI to take over because I reckon they'll do a better job.
But what?
Until it turns on us.
Yeah, like they'll just. I think they'll figure it out.
But I'll
like,
be long gone by then.
Because in Terminator, they all seem to get along with each other, didn't they?
Well, they had some rough years.
You know what I mean?
They disagreed a little bit here and there. It seems
Yeah, but
like.
don't they fucking nuke the world at the end of Terminator 3? Spoiler alert.
Not for
Well,
themselves, yeah.
there's problems. It does take some hard left turns,
Oh
But
no, wait, that's the if the machines take over, that's the fucking key to saving the world is blowing up.
Here's my theory,
I
right?
think.
I'm gonna
Might be
try
wrong,
and be
mate.
less cynical. I'm gonna try and be less cynical. I think that the AI are gonna kill us through hedonism, like Brave New World style. They're just gonna give us everything that we ever desired until we don't reproduce anymore, and there's
it's
fucking nothing
almost like
left.
that. It's almost like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not that crazy of a theory
Yeah.
or a pontification because, I mean, just in a small amount of years from like when I was 16 years old, 17 years old, you get your driver's license, you were gone. I mean, you would come home at the very last minute that you would legally be allowed to before your parents would kill you. And you would just be anywhere. You would be anywhere but home. Just go driving around with your friends, listen to music, go to the fucking beach, gone. And all of my friends that I grew up with now all have 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old kids. And none of them even want to go anywhere. They just sit in a chair or on the couch with their iPad and their fucking phone and their laptop all surrounded. And I go, dude, why aren't you fucking driving around? You just got your license like a month ago. It's summertime. Why aren't you fucking around with all your friends? He goes, I am right now. And he's in fucking 3 different chat rooms, watching fucking college football. But so now we're talking 30 years ago, I would have gone to his dad's house and we would have gone somewhere and watched college football all together. These guys are all just sitting in their fucking, almost doing a podcast like they're doing this without, broadcasting it. And they're all watching the same fucking thing. I go, you don't move.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
We've
But
kind of
also these same kids, they are very terrible socially. They are very bad at dating. Most of them don't have boyfriends or girlfriends really like we did. When I was in high school, I was constantly going on dates and constantly going out with big groups of people. And they just are stuck on their iPads, laptops, phones, whatever the fuck. And socially, I think they're totally screwed. And that is to your point of in a 500 years, no one's going to know how to fuck.
Yeah. Well, here's one for you then, right? So everything I just referenced comes from the Neil Postman book, Amusing Ourselves to Death. And he talks about how our modes of communication, how much they've changed and where it's taken us. Because up until like most people couldn't write, so everything was done orally. We retained stories in our heads and went to different places and shared them, and they became legends and myths and they spread.
Sure.
And then people started to, write. We had the printing press in the 1400s that revolutionized everything. One particular thing I loved was that in America, especially in the 1800s, you had Twitter back then, but back then they would produce these cheap qualities of paper, write a bit of shit talk on it and dish it out to the community, and then by tomorrow it was yesterday's news.
Right.
So that still existed, but just on a smaller scale.
And not a global scale.
No, just amongst the communities.
Sure.
In America, in the 1800s, they just fucking dish out because it was cheap. The paper was cheap. And, you know what I mean? But then once you get to telegraphy, Morse code, and you get to photography in the middle of the 1850s, suddenly you get what's called Associated Press, because now news can travel faster than us.
Right.
For the first time ever, because of, and it's like everybody, suddenly we became a village. America overnight became
right,
a big village.
right.
And yeah, it's just crazy how like, oh, fucking, because I'm stoned, mate, I'm like losing my thoughts here. But basically he's talking about the progression of all of that.
Right.
But I'm also trying to point out the similarities between us now and us in the 1850s. It was no different. It was just smaller scale.
I mean,
that makes sense.
It's not really that long. I mean, we're talking, so what, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, a phone would ring and you wouldn't even know who was calling you. You would just blindly answer it.
Yeah.
Now,
no.
you get a call, you're like, no, I'm not talking to this motherfucker right now. Put it back in your pocket. Like, could you, I mean, there's people that are under the age of 30 that don't know what it's like to just blindly answer a phone and not, please don't be a bill collector. Please don't be my landlord. Please don't be my ex-girlfriend. Please don't be someone I don't want to talk to. But you still answer it because curiosity. Till answer machines saved us.
That's why the new Scream movies don't really work. It's just, you kind of know what's going to happen.
Right.
And then they act and scared for no reason.
And it become the thing, it became the very thing that it was pointing at and pointing and laughing at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is true. Yeah. But then again, at what point in time does that start to regress? You know, you talk about the increase of communication. To what point does it become harmful?
Well, because it all became, because by the advent of television, it then became, the thing I want to bring up to you real quickly, right, was it gives an example of how people consumed politics back then in the 1800s. Before Abraham Lincoln was president, he was senator, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Of Illinois.
Illinois, that was it.
Yeah.
And he was having a debate. This is before he was president. He was having a debate with a man named Stephen A. Douglas. And this was the norm back then. Stephen spoke for 3 hours in front of a live audience, right? And yeah, he spoke for 3 hours. And the way they spoke back then, the citations that I've read, it's very wordy, like the way you'd speak in literature.
Totally.
You know,
it's annoying.
A lot of parenthesis, a lot of prefacing in their language.
Absolutely.
Back then, it was kind of like seen as fashionable to have a poetic sort of.
Having to learn that and memorize that when you are 9-10 years old, it's really sucked dick. So you didn't even. It's like learning a new language. You're like, what the fuck is he saying?
But we'll get cancelled, bro.
Dude, don't get canceled.
No, I'm just fucking around.
That's the last thing you need.
But the point I'm making is like, third-degree burns, man. Treating that thing like a fidget spinner.
Oh yeah, you got it. He needs to fucking bubble wrap it, and he needs to go oven mitts.
Yeah.
That'll keep him from two things: one, fucking pulling on his crank, and two, hitting all the fucking knobs on the fucking pool.
Yeah, man.
You know, 2 birds with 2 gloves. That's fucking what I'm talking about.
Oh, mate, look, he's reliable, man. Shows up on Christmas Day, man. Checks up on the place. Still fucks up.
Right? Guys, hey, what's up? It's your old pal, Teebs. I'm still here and enjoying my talk with the boys, Sean, TK. February 22nd, if you're in the America neck of the woods and you're in the Kentucky area, I will be in Lexington, Kentucky at the Country Boy Brewery, 8 p.m. show. And I'm doing a new hour. And I will probably do about a 90-minute set. So buckle your seatbelts for that. But a whole new hour. I'm working on my whole new hour there. And then March 8th, Chicago Improv in Schaumburg. I will be there with one certain Jew named Ari Shafir. Also, please feel free to listen to my podcast, Punch Drunk, anytime you want. And I want to plug out my buddy's special, just came out on Netflix, called America's Sweetheart. Ari Shafir. Check out his new special on Netflix. It's super awesome and very funny. And so I'll take that time to give my favorite Jew a shout out. That is true too. I'm going to be in Austin, and I'm going to in the spring, and April 18th to May 5th, I'm going to be in Los Angeles the whole time. So I'm going to have a bunch of shows at the Comedy Store, Improv, Ice House. Definitely not the Laugh Factory. They don't like me too much. And the Mothership in Austin, I don't have a date yet, but I cannot wait. I haven't performed there yet. Yeah. Oh, I would love to be on Kill Tony. I'm dying to play golf with him because he keeps telling me I'm really good. I go, how good is good? Like I'd love to play with you, but and he says something like, if anybody knows anything about golf, you know, this is a ridiculous statement. I shoot anything from an 83 to a 110. I go, oh, okay, well, let's play for money, because there's no way anybody that's capable of an 83 is capable of a 110. And there's no way anybody that's capable of a 110 can shoot an 83. So I know he's fucking totally lying, and I'm going to play this kid for money. So I'm going to be in Austin, beating Tony Hinchcliffe in golf, and working at the mothership, doing stand up there. And then a couple of those other, they got a bunch of good little the LA Comedy Club, Red Band's place up there. Sunset, what's it? Sunset Strip Comedy Club, Red Band.
Yeah.
A bunch of those. So I'm gonna come go fucking fuck all those up too in Austin. So by the way, by all means, anybody, if you can, find it any way in your heart to donate to any of these good charities. I'm not even gonna plug any of them. I have no dog in the fight, but everybody in Southern California can use any sort of help or resources. So if you're feeling like that, look any of them up online and send them $5 for the love of God. Awesome, guys. Let's do this again anytime you guys want. I love talking to you guys. Cheers, man. Good seeing you guys.
Love and peace, bro.